Hi everyone. In today's clip, I will talk a little bit about sugar. Just a reminder that anything I post here is not meant to diagnose or cure anything, and it's for informational use only. For any health-related matters, please consult your healthcare provider. So sugar is a carbohydrate that gives your body energy. Natural sugars in fruits, vegetables, and dairy come with fiber, vitamins, and minerals, so they are a part of a healthy diet. Most people eat too much added sugar found in sodas, sweets, processed foods, and even sauces, as well as simple carbs found in bread or even certain amino acids from protein. When we eat protein, we have 14 glucogenic amino acids, meaning they feed into pathways that produce glucose. We have 2 ketogenic amino acids, which convert to ketones, not glucose, and we have 4 that are both glucogenic and ketogenic. So ketones are molecules your body produces when it needs an alternative energy source to glucose. The average adult consumes about 17 teaspoons of added sugar daily, far above the recommended limits, which could be 16 teaspoons for women, 9 for men, of course, depending on the activity level. The health risks of excess sugar include weight gain and obesity, because sugary drinks and snacks add calories without making you full. Heart disease, high sugar intake raises blood pressure, triglycerides, and inflammation. So for example, glucose is the brain's main energy source. Your brain consumes about 20% of your body's energy, and most of that comes from glucose. This comes from carbohydrates in your diet, which are broken down into glucose and transported through the blood to the brain. In normal conditions, the brain cannot store glucose, so it needs a constant supply from your bloodstream. If glucose is low, like during fasting, the brain then can use ketones as an alternative fuel, but glucose is still its preferred source. So also glucose is the main fuel for the heart muscle, especially under normal conditions. And the heart is a high energy organ pumping continuously, so it needs the steady supply of energy. Glucose comes from carbohydrates in your diet and is delivered through the bloodstream, as I mentioned. The heart can also use fatty acids and lactate for energy, especially during exercise or fasting. But glucose is the preferred source when oxygen is available because it's efficient for producing ATP, and ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate, and it's often called the energy currency of the cell because it stores and transfers energy for almost all biological processes that we have. So organs like brain, heart, muscle, and kidneys rely heavily on glucose because it's easy to convert to ATP, and it is basically the universal fuel for most cells in the body. Then we have D-ribose, which is a type of sugar called monosaccharide, and specifically a pentose sugar, meaning it has 5 carbon atoms. And here's what makes it special. It's not the same as table sugar, which is sucrose. D-ribose is a building block for RNA and DNA, and it's also essential for making ATP. Your body naturally produces D-ribose, but it can also be taken as a supplement to support energy production, especially in heart and muscle cells. In short, D-ribose is a natural sugar critical for cellular energy and genetic material, not intended for sweetening food. And it is used as a supplement for congestive heart failure patients for recovery. You might have heard of the term glyconutrients. These are a group of special sugars or carbohydrates that your body uses to build and maintain healthy cells. In simple terms, they are not the same as table sugar. Glyconutrients are involved in cell-to-cell communication, helping your immune system and other body functions work properly. They're found naturally in foods like aloe vera, mushrooms, oats, and certain fruits. Scientists call them essential sugars because they help form glycoproteins, which are the structures on the cell surfaces that act like communication antennas on your cells. And examples of glyconutrients are glucose, mannose, galactose, fucose, and xylose. Glyconutrients support immune health, aid in cell repair, and improve gut health. Then we have xylitol, which is a type of sugar alcohol or carbohydrate that is often used as a low-calorie sweetener and tastes just like sugar without an aftertaste and has 40% fewer calories. Xylitol is a naturally occurring compound found in small amounts in fruits and vegetables. Commercially, it's made from birchwood or corn. This is considered a nutritive sweetener, so it has nutritional value. Now, it doesn't spike blood sugar as much as regular sugar does, so it's often used in diabetic-friendly products. Also, it helps prevent tooth decay, which is why it's common in some sugar-free gums and toothpaste. Take caution, though, as this is considered toxic to dogs, so keep away from your pets. One thing that has become super popular in the past couple of decades or so are the artificial sweeteners. They promise lower calories, but they do come with many, many downsides. These are considered non-nutritive sweeteners, meaning they do not provide energy to the body and they're not nutrition. Some artificial sweeteners like saccharin, sucralose, aspartame, neotame, ACE-K, advantame, and more alter gut bacteria balance, and this affects digestion, immunity, and even blood sugar regulation. They confuse the body's response to sweetness, leading to increased craving for sugar and weight gain over time, and it has seen to impact insulin sensitivity. They can bring about migraine headaches and increase the number of occurrences in those suffering from it. Some of these sweeteners, such as saccharin, was banned for human consumption back in 1997, and they made their way back into the food chain after year 2000. Unfortunately, most diabetic medications contain these types of sugars, and the side effects and harms of these sugars are too many to dig into in a short clip. So going back to the topic of simple sugars, too much sugar can lead to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Also, fructose-heavy diets overload the liver. Other high sugar diets issues that might be faced include acne, energy crashes, major inflammatory disorders, and possibly addiction-like cravings. Better approach would be to focus on natural sugars from whole fruits, dairy, and so on. So limiting added sugars to less than sort of 10% of your daily calories. Reading the labels of the products you buy is essential and very important because sugar hides in many products. Bottom line, sugar itself isn't poison, but too much added sugar is linked to serious health problems. So the moderation is very much the key. Hope this has been helpful. Like and follow for more. Be the light.